There's certain things that I'm sure that Sony does that really ticks off Microsoft, and there's certain things that Microsoft does that I am positive ticks off Sony, and this is probably up there with the highest level of irks that could ever be happening, and I find it to be absolutely hilarious. This is just one of those things that I do find to be super interesting. And listen, at the end of the day, I get that Microsoft and Sony are two different companies, and they kind of have two different sorts of people that they're going after. And trust me when I say I completely understand that. And I think that Microsoft has goals in mind that they want to accomplish, and so does Sony. Sony wants to kind of stick as much as possible with that old school mentality, although they are making waves trying to do the best possible thing for fans. So, when you see like this, you could say, well, I do feel like this was kind of a slapping of sorts, and Microsoft really kind of laid that wood. And it's just one of those things that you love to see, because that Jimbo Lion Ryan, he's just kind of gritting his teeth and bending over and taking it. And, the PlayStation fanboys are also kind of bending over and taking it, because, they hate to see this. They absolutely hate to see this. And as an Xbox fan, I love to see it. I love to see it. I love to see kind of what's going on. And, at the end of the day, this is pretty fantastic if you're an Xbox fan. What's up, everybody? I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Listen, it's just so phenomenal to see everybody kind of go out there and just be excited about games again, and that's what we're starting to see, which is a definite good thing. And like I said, I'm excited by the future and what these companies are doing, and I'll continue to be that way. But I am looking to get 100 likes on each of these. So yeah, Sony used to could bank on an exclusive every year. MLB The Show was a huge exclusive every single year. Up until a couple years ago, it's been on Game Pass since then. I'm sure Sony hates that, but it's probably some kind of deal between Microsoft and Major League Baseball. Originally, Major League Baseball wanted this game to be multi-platform so they could make more money off of more sales. And, a lot of Sony fanboys said, oh, well, they won't put it on Game Pass again. They won't do it again. It won't be successful. But obviously, it's been very successful on Game Pass. It's been on Game Pass and done very well. And it also continues to sell well. So it takes away one of those narratives that a lot of people were going with, which was if something's on Game Pass, it can't sell. A lot of times, if something's on Game Pass, it'll speak, kind of spark that word of mouth. Obviously, when it comes to some stuff, like, I'm sure a lot of games, like the big AAA stuff, some of that stuff, it might see a decline in sales, but an uptick in, like users and players and things like that. And I think that's much more important for Microsoft at this particular point. But Sony San Diego actually announced MLB The Show 23 and confirmed that it's going to launch across all major platforms, including PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo systems. No new platforms were added this year, so no PC, but the announcement makes it clear that the show is a multi-platform series across PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo for the foreseeable future. Now, Xbox's version of the trailer also confirms that MLB The Show 23 will be on Game Pass at launch, making this first-party PlayStation game Game Pass title 3 years in a row. As is typically the case with sports game, MLB The Show's 23's reveal was primarily focused on the cover athlete, and we learned that Jazz Chisholm Jr., a second baseman for the Marlins, will grace the cover of the game like last year. The PS4, Xbox One, and Switch versions of the game will be $60. On PS5 and Series X and S, without Game Pass, it'll be $70. So for now, no new gameplay features have been teased, although a blog post confirms that cross-platform multiplayer saves and progressions will return this year. So far, there's not actually seems to be new about MLB The Show 23, but the reveal includes the genesis of a new era for the long-running series. But it's interesting, in my opinion, because again, we see that MLB The Show is going to be on Game Pass, and that's something that I think fans can be excited about. Like I've always thought anyway, like when it comes to like sports games, and trust me, I'm guilty because I buy Madden quite a bit. And, you know, for me, it's one of those things that I realistically, I love the fact that this is a yearly game, a yearly sports game where a lot of times they don't really do much. They update the, you know, the players and things like that. And, you know, and at the end of the day, it's just not something that I think is worth, you know, $70 each year, you know. It's kind of unfortunate, but that's just the way I feel about it. I think that the show is a good game. I've actually, like, I would get it every few years on PlayStation for a while, right? And then I didn't get it, you know, for a while. But now it's like that I can play it every year, and it's on Game Pass. So I think that's something that's very cool, and I'm excited by that. You know, again, the future of Xbox and Game Pass is bright. The fact that they have all these first-party stuff coming out, and also getting like third-party stuff like this. And like I said, it's got to absolutely vex Sony that this happens. I can't imagine that they. I mean, they probably enjoyed the revenue from it, but you know, taking one of those exclusives away from, you know, the fanboys and stuff like that is probably something that they aren't the biggest fan of. So, you know, like I said, I'll be able to play it on Game Pass. No $70 for me. But again, like some people might go, oh, you know, listen, this is kind of crazy that this is happening, but oh, you know, Xbox fans don't like to buy games. They don't like to buy games. Listen, I wouldn't have bought this game either way, but guess what? Now they're going to get paid for somebody downloading it and playing it, and you know, it's just one of those things. Also, sometimes when a game comes out on Game Pass and I play it, I had money set aside for that game, and that money can be used to get another game as well. So two sets of developers get paid, and you know, games get played. And I think that can be a really cool thing when it comes to, you know, these video games and things like that anyway. So yeah, it's a win-win situation. I don't see how people always thought that you know, this stuff was, you know, something that was bad for developers or whatever. I always thought that it was great for developers, and it made me exciting to think what the future holds, you know, because Game Pass isn't just about first-party stuff. It's about, you know, like the third-party stuff as well. So that's an exciting prospect. I can't wait to see what happens. Are you guys going to play this game on Game Pass? Have you played any of the other two? I play them. You know, listen, baseball can be, like the game and the actual video game can be a little boring at times. Like I can't play a full season, but I play the little story or whatever where my guy's a badass pitcher and can also smack some dingers. So yeah, you know, I do enjoy playing that. But let me know what you guys think. Please sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. I'll link this in the description. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up, crap gamer out.